Life can change in a single breath. One heartbeat, one moment, one unexpected turn, and everything we thought was certain can suddenly shift beneath us. I want you to pause and think about that, because we often live as if we have forever, when in truth, none of us are promised even the next sunrise. And that is why the greatest tragedy is not dying too soon. It's living too long without ever truly living for God. Every day, we rush through life as if these hours are endless. We chase after things that cannot follow us into eternity: money, applause, temporary pleasure, the approval of people who may forget our names tomorrow. Yet in the quiet moments, when the world stops spinning so fast, our heart whispers the truth. We try so hard to ignore life is short and eternity is long. I've seen people stand on the mountaintop of success with tears in their eyes because even with everything they gained, something inside them still felt empty. I've also seen men and women who had so little, barely enough to get through the day, yet they had a peace and a joy that could not be explained. The difference wasn't what they owned, it was who they lived for. There was once a young man, strong, full of passion, full of dreams. He planned his future as if time belonged to him. One day, he said, I'll get right with God. One day I'll change my ways. One day I'll surrender. But that day never came. He left this world unexpectedly, and his family stood around his grave with only one question beating inside their hearts. Why didn't he choose God while he still had the chance? My friend, the saddest words a human soul can ever speak are these: I thought I had more time. A life is short. But with God, your life can be meaningful, purposeful, and eternal. Every morning you open your eyes, God is giving you a gift, another chance to live for Him. Another chance to love someone who feels forgotten. Another chance to forgive, to start again, to walk away from sin and step into the light. Yet so many people waste those chances because they believe tomorrow will look just like today. But listen carefully. What you do with your life today determines the story you leave behind tomorrow. Maybe right now you feel overwhelmed. Maybe the world has taken more from you than you ever imagined. Maybe you've been carrying wounds so that you hide them from everyone. Or maybe you've built walls around your heart because life has taught you to trust no one. I want you to hear something that can change everything. God sees you. God knows you. And God still has a purpose for your life. You are not breathing by accident. You are not walking through this moment by coincidence. You are here because the God who created you is calling you back to Him. Not next week, not next year, not when life settles down, but now. Because life is short, and the most dangerous word in the human vocabulary is later. Later destroys destinies. Later steals opportunities. Later keeps people chained to guilt, shame, and fear. But God says, come now, return now, surrender now. Think of the people you love, the ones who depend on you, the ones who look up to you, the ones who watch how you live. Your life is shaping theirs more than you realize. What kind of legacy will you leave? Will it be one of faith, strength, compassion, and courage? Or will it be a legacy filled with regret for what could have been? Life is short, but when you live for God, every day becomes a miracle. Every sunrise becomes a promise. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to grow. Every blessing becomes a reminder that heaven is real, eternity is waiting, and your soul is worth far more than anything this world could ever offer. There was a woman who lived her entire life trying to please people. She changed who she was depending on, who she stood beside. But when she met God, she said something that stayed with me forever. For the first time in my life, I feel free. Free to be who God made me. Free to let go of the pain I carried. Free to live with purpose. That's what God wants for you, freedom. Not a life dragging the chains of yesterday, but a life walking boldly into the future He designed for you. Maybe you've made mistakes, serious ones. Maybe you've fallen so many times that you wonder how God could ever love you again. But hear me, God is not counting your failures. He is counting the moments you return to Him. His mercy is bigger than your past. His grace is stronger than your guilt. And His love reaches deeper than every place you've been wounded. Life is short, but God's love is everlasting. One day you and I will stand before Him, not with our titles, not with our achievements, not with our money or possessions or followers. We will stand with one thing, the condition of our heart. And on that day, nothing will matter more than whether we lived for God when we had the chance. Don't wait for tragedy to wake you up. Don't wait for loss to teach you what truly matters. Don't wait for the world to fall apart before you decide to follow the one who can hold it all together. Choose God today. Choose purpose today. Choose eternity today. Because life is short. But when you walk with God, even the shortest life becomes a testimony that echoes through generations. So take a deep breath. Look at your life. Look at your choices. Look at the direction you're going. And ask yourself the question that has changed millions of lives. If today was my last day on earth, would I be ready? Would I be at peace? Would I have lived the life God called me to live? If your answer is no, then today is your mercy. Today is your invitation. Today is your turning point. Open your heart to God. Surrender what you cannot fix. Lay down what you cannot carry. Step away from what is destroying you. Step toward the one who can heal you, restore you, strengthen you, and lead you into a life filled with meaning beyond anything you've ever imagined. Life is short. Live every day for God. Life is short, and every moment carries eternal significance. We often move through our days as if time is an unlimited resource, something we can spend carelessly without fear of running out. But the truth is far more fragile, far more sacred. Every breath you take is a gift from God, every hour an opportunity, every sunrise a reminder that you are living in borrowed time. People plan their lives decades ahead, imagining the future as if it is guaranteed. They think, one day I'll get serious about my faith. One day I'll forgive. One day I'll change. One day I'll live the way God called me to live. But one day is a dangerous illusion because no one knows if tomorrow will ever come. Life doesn't wait for our convenience. It moves with or without our preparation. And eternity is just one heartbeat away. When you understand the brevity of life, something inside you awakens. You begin to see how precious each moment truly is. You realize that every decision you make, every word you speak, every choice you entertain is shaping your destiny. The conversations you have, the people you help, the prayers you pray, the faith you carry, all of it is being woven into the story God is writing through you. And that story doesn't end when your life on earth ends. It carries on into eternity. The time you have right now is the time that determines where your soul stands forever. That is why every moment matters more than we can comprehend. Think about how people rush through life chasing temporary things. They invest their energy into possessions that lose value, relationships that fade, goals that revolve around ego or fear or pressure. They work tirelessly to build a life that looks successful, yet deep down their spirit is starving. They scroll through endless distractions, numb their hearts with entertainment, or bury their pain in silence, never realizing that the most important part of them, their soul, is being ignored. Life is short, and with each passing day, the window to live with purpose narrows a little more. But when you choose to live with eternity in mind, everything changes. You stop living out of fear and start living out of conviction. You stop chasing applause and begin seeking God's approval. You stop clinging to what is temporary and begin investing in what lasts forever. Every moment of your life is seen by God. Every struggle you endure, every tear you shed, every temptation you overcome. Every act of kindness you offer, it all carries weight in heaven. Nothing is wasted. Even the seasons that feel confusing or painful can become powerful when placed in God's hands. When you live with the awareness that your time is limited, you begin to value people more, forgive faster, speak with more intention, love more boldly, and pursue God more deeply. You start asking yourself deeper questions. Am I living the way God designed me to live? Am I using my time wisely? Am I preparing my heart for eternity? Am I living a life that reflects the one who gave me life? You may not realize it, but your life influences others. Your faith can inspire someone to hope again. Your courage can help someone face their fear. Your obedience can lead someone closer to God. Your compassion can heal wounds you never knew existed. Even your silent battles, when surrendered to God, can become testimonies for people who feel alone in theirs. Every moment you choose God, even when it's difficult, becomes a seed planted in eternity. Heaven sees it. Heaven remembers it. Heaven values it. Life is short, but when you live each day with God at the center, time becomes meaningful. Minutes turn into miracles, hours turn into opportunities, and days turn into steps toward your eternal home. The brevity of life is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to awaken you. It is meant to remind you that now is the moment to live with intentionality, with passion, with faith, with surrender. Every moment matters because every moment carries eternal significance. Delaying your surrender to God is the greatest spiritual danger. People often live with the quiet assumption that time will always wait for them, that the opportunity to turn their life around will always be there, that God's invitation can be postponed without consequence. But the truth is far more urgent. Every day you delay surrender is another day you walk further from the purpose God designed for you. Every moment you postpone your decision is another moment where the enemy gains ground in your life. The most tragic words anyone can say are, "I'll do it later," because later is a promise no human being has ever been guaranteed. There are countless people who once felt the gentle pull of God on their heart, who sensed deep within their spirit that they needed to return to Him, who knew the direction of their life needed to change, but they convinced themselves they had plenty of time. They silenced the conviction. They distracted themselves with the world. They drowned out the voice of God with business and noise. And in doing so, they drifted further and further into a life they never intended to live. The danger is not in rejecting God outright. The danger is in letting your heart grow numb, letting your spirit become hardened, letting your sensitivity fade until the voice of God becomes distant. Spiritual delay is not passive. It is destructive. When you delay surrender, sin gains deeper roots, habits strengthen, darkness becomes familiar, the excuses multiply. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to return, not because God closes the door, but because your heart becomes accustomed to living without Him. The enemy whispers, tomorrow, later, one day, and many lives have been lost, many destinies derailed, many souls unprepared for eternity because they believed those lies. The greatest deception is that you have more time. Time is one of God's greatest gifts, but it is also one of life's greatest uncertainties. You do not choose when it begins, and you cannot choose when it ends. There are moments when God reaches for you, when He sends conviction, when He puts someone in your path to remind you of your purpose, when He stirs something in your spirit that tells you clearly, this is the moment to turn back. These moments are sacred. They are God's mercy in motion. They are God's invitation for you to step out of the emptiness and into His grace. But when you ignore these moments, your heart slowly drifts into a dangerous place where the urgency fades and the call of God becomes faint. People delay surrender because they think they need to fix themselves first, that they need to clean up their mistakes before coming to God. But that is a misunderstanding of His love. You don't surrender because you are perfect. You surrender because you are broken. You don't come to God because you're strong. You come because you are tired of carrying what you were never meant to carry. God doesn't ask you to get your life together and then approach Him. He asks you to come as you are because only He can truly transform you. Delaying surrender is like refusing medical help because you want to stop bleeding before going to the doctor. You cannot heal yourself. You need the one who made you. Many people think surrender means losing something valuable, but what they don't realize is that surrender is where you actually gain everything. Peace enters where chaos once ruled. Joy replaces emptiness. Forgiveness wipes away guilt. Strength rises where weakness lived. Purpose awakens in places where confusion once dominated. When you delay surrender, you delay the very life your soul has been longing for. You delay healing. You delay freedom. You delay destiny. The cost of delay is far greater than the cost of surrender. Every day you wake up is a reminder that God is giving you another chance, another moment to choose Him, another moment to step out of sin, out of fear, out of numbness, out of excuses, and into the life He prepared for you. But that chance will not last forever. The window will not stay open endlessly. Life is too fragile, too unpredictable, too sacred to gamble with your soul. Surrender is not something to add to your schedule. It is the decision that determines everything else. And the longer you postpone it, the more you risk losing what matters most. True purpose and peace can only be found when you live fully for God. People spend their entire lives searching for meaning, chasing careers, relationships, applause, status, and success, believing that if they can just achieve enough, acquire enough, or impress enough, the emptiness inside them will finally disappear. But no matter how much they gain, no matter how high they climb, something inside still feels incomplete. That is because the human soul was never designed to be satisfied by temporary things. You were created by God for God, and until your life is aligned with Him, you will always feel like something is missing. There are individuals who look so successful on the outside, but when they lay their head on the pillow at night, they feel a deep ache that they cannot explain. They have the house, the job, the car, the lifestyle, yet peace remains distant. That is the silent truth many people hide. They try to fill spiritual emptiness with material distractions. They try to numb the longing in their soul by staying busy, staying entertained, staying surrounded by noise. But the soul will not be silenced by substitutes. It knows its Creator, and it knows that only in Him does it find true rest. Purpose does not come from what you do. It comes from who you belong to. You could spend your life achieving great things, but if God is not at the center, the meaning will always collapse under the weight of your expectations. People chase dreams that leave them tired. They fight battles that only drain them. They build a life that looks good from the outside, but feels hollow within. True purpose begins the moment you stop living for yourself and start living for the one who designed you with intention. When you live for God, your perspective shifts. You stop measuring your worth by worldly standards and start seeing yourself through the eyes of the one who made you. You begin to understand that your life is not random. Your existence is not accidental, and your journey is not without meaning. God created you with gifts, abilities, dreams, and a destiny that aligns with His divine plan. And when you walk in that plan, you experience a peace that cannot be explained or shaken. There are people who walk around carrying silent wounds, disappointments, failures, regrets. They think their past disqualifies them from purpose. They think their mistakes have erased their value. But God is not limited by your past. He is the God of transformation. When you live fully for Him, He takes what was broken and makes it whole. He takes what was lost and gives it direction. He takes what was painful and turns it into something powerful. The peace God gives is not the absence of problems, it is the presence of His strength in the midst of them. It is the calm that reminds you that you are held, guided, and deeply loved. Purpose is not found in perfection, it is found in surrender. When you let go of the need to control everything, when you finally release your fears, your sins, your doubts, your dreams, and place them in God's hands, He begins to shape your life in ways you never imagined. You start seeing miracles you once overlooked. You feel joy where there used to be heaviness. You experience clarity where there used to be confusion. And you realize that living for God is not a burden. It is freedom. Living fully for God also means understanding that your life influences more people than you know. Your faith can inspire someone who has lost theirs. Your courage can strengthen someone who is afraid. Your obedience can open spiritual doors in your family. Your kindness can heal wounds in someone's heart. God uses surrendered lives to impact the world in ways that exceed human understanding. When you live for Him, your purpose becomes bigger than you. It becomes eternal. Peace flows from God like a river. Steady, quiet, powerful. When you live outside His will, life feels like a storm you cannot calm. But when you walk with Him, even in the midst of chaos, your soul remains anchored. It is that supernatural peace that tells you everything will be all right, even when circumstances say otherwise. It is that peace that gives you strength to keep going, faith to keep believing, and courage to stand firm. You were not created to wander through life without direction. You were not created to carry burdens alone. You were not created to survive on empty strength. You were created for God, and until you live for Him completely, nothing else will ever feel enough. When you step back and look at your life, every joy, every wound, every season you've walked through, you begin to see a truth that cannot be ignored. You were never meant to drift through this world without direction. You were never meant to live empty, broken, or searching endlessly for something that finally makes you whole. Deep inside your soul, there has always been a quiet voice, a gentle pull, a longing that reminds you that you belong to God. And that longing becomes louder the moment you realize how short life truly is. Each breath is a reminder that time is fragile, that moments slip away silently, and that eternity draws closer with every heartbeat. Everything you've gone through, everything you've lost, everything that tried to break you, it was never meant to end your story. It was meant to awaken you. It was meant to lead you back to the one who can redeem every broken piece, the one who can turn your pain into purpose, the one who can take your life, no matter where you are right now, and rewrite it for His glory. But you must choose Him. You must choose surrender. You must choose to stop running from the one who has been running toward you your entire life. There is a peace waiting for you. Real peace. Deep peace. The kind that settles the storms inside you and reminds you that you're not alone. There is a purpose waiting for you, bigger than the failures behind you and stronger than the fears within you. There is a freedom waiting for you, a release from guilt, from shame, from regret, from everything that weighs you down. But none of it will come from the world. None of it will come from chasing approval, success, validation, or comfort. It will only come from God, because only God can touch the places inside you that no one else sees. You may feel unworthy. You may feel too broken. You may feel like you've wasted too many years. But God has a way of restoring what you thought was gone forever. He has a way of turning the smallest yes into a destiny you never imagined. He has a way of taking the time you have left, however short or long it may be, and filling it with meaning that echoes into eternity. That is why surrender cannot wait. That is why your soul cannot afford delay. That is why today matters more than you realize. Life is short. But with God, even a short life becomes powerful. Even a wounded life becomes beautiful. Even a lost life becomes redeemed. You don't have to understand everything. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to have all the answers. All God asks is that you open your heart, that you let Him in, that you stop running from the purpose you were created for. Your life is a gift, and every moment is an invitation. The question now is simple. What will you do with the time you have left?